You're standing at a crossroads, the world screaming at you to pick a path. Voices, loud, confident, magnetic, pull you left, right, forward, back. Follow this leader, they say. Trust that system. Bow to this crowd. But deep inside, there's a gnawing ache, a question that won't quit. Who's really steering your life? You feel it, don't you? That tug between what the world demands and what your soul knows is true. What if the greatest rebellion isn't against the system, but against the part of you that's been trained to obey? Picture a man lost in a vast desert, chasing mirages of water that vanish when he gets close. That's us when we follow others blindly. Kings, influencers, crowds, even our own past selves. We've all done it, haven't we? Clung to someone else's map, hoping it'll lead us to meaning. But the desert doesn't care about their promises, and neither does your life. The truth is, following others often means surrendering the one thing that makes you you, your ability to rule yourself. Why do we do this? It's wired into us. From the cradle, we're taught to look outward for answers. As boys, we're told to emulate heroes, warriors, athletes, tycoons. Society hands us a script. Fit in, climb the ladder, don't rock the boat. Psychologically, it's seductive. Belonging feels safe. Conformity feels like armor. But that armor's heavy, isn't it? It presses down on your chest, makes it hard to breathe. You start to wonder, am I living my life or someone else's? Sartre once said, man is condemned to be free. Condemned because freedom isn't a gift, it's a burden. To rule yourself is to carry that weight alone. No one else can tell you what your life means. No guru, no system, no crowd. And yet, we keep outsourcing our choices, don't we? We scroll through feeds, nodding at strangers' opinions. We chase status, wealth, approval, because the world says that's what men do. But what happens when the applause fades? When the crowd moves on? You're left staring at a mirror, wondering who's looking back. Pause. What's the last choice you made that felt truly yours? Not swayed by pressure, not shaped by someone else's voice, just yours. Can you name it? Or does it feel like you've been drifting, carried by a current you didn't choose? Let's look back. Think of Odysseus, the Greek hero sailing home after the Trojan War. He didn't follow anyone's orders, not gods, not kings, not even his own crew at times. He faced sirens, monsters, storms, and every time he chose his own path. Not because he was fearless, but because he trusted his own mind to navigate the chaos. Contrast that with Icarus, who flew too close to the sun, ignoring his father's warnings. He followed ambition, not reason, and paid the ultimate price. Both men faced the same truth. No one else can bear the consequences of your choices. Not your mentors, not your brothers, not the world. Society doesn't make this easy. It's built on hierarchies, on men proving themselves by how well they follow or lead others. We're told to pick a tribe, to wear its colors proudly. But tribes demand loyalty, and loyalty can blind you. Look around. Men are pressured to conform, to jobs that drain them, to roles that define them, to ideals of masculinity that feel like cages. The stoic provider, the fearless warrior, the charming hustler. These are archetypes, not truths. They're masks we wear to avoid the harder work of knowing ourselves. And it's not just society. Our own minds betray us. Psychologically, we're wired for certainty, for leaders who promise it. That's why we cling to authority figures, fathers, bosses, prophets. But certainty is a trap. Lao Tzu said, "To know that you do not know is the best." Doubt isn't weakness, it's the spark of self-rule. When you question the voices around you, you start to hear your own. Pause. When did you last question something you were told to believe? Not just argue against it, but dig into why it felt wrong. What stopped you from going deeper? Let's be real. The world profits from your obedience. Systems, corporations, governments, even communities thrive when you follow their rules. They'll reward you with crumbs of approval, but at what cost? You've felt it, haven't you? That hollow ache when you realize you've traded your truth for a paycheck, a title, a nod from the crowd. The philosopher Kierkegaard called this the despair of necessity, living a life that's expected, not chosen. It's why so many men wake up at 40, 50, staring at their lives like strangers. But there's another way. Ruling yourself isn't about rejecting the world. It's about reclaiming your power to choose within it. Imagine a ship's captain steering through a storm. He doesn't curse the waves or beg for calm. He studies the wind, adjusts the sails, and trusts his own hand on the wheel. That's you, when you learn to rule yourself. You don't need to burn down the system or flee to a mountain. You start where you are, with the choices in front of you. How? First, you might choose to listen to yourself. Not the noise in your head, but the deeper voice, the one that speaks when you're quiet. It's there in the moments you're alone, when the world's demands fade. Maybe it's telling you to walk away from a job that's killing you. Maybe it's urging you to face a fear you've buried. Whatever it is, you honor it by acting, even in small ways. A single step taken on your own terms is worth more than 1,000 miles on someone else's path. Next, you might choose to question the scripts you've been handed. What does success mean to you? Not to the world, but to you. What does it mean to be a man? Not the version sold by ads or preached by pundits, but the one you'd stand for even if no one clapped. This isn't easy. It means facing the discomfort of not knowing, of standing alone. But as Nietzsche said, that which is done out of love always takes place beyond good and evil. When you act from your own truth, you're untouchable. Pause. What's one belief about yourself, about what you should be, that you've never questioned? What would happen if you let it go just for a moment? You might also choose to build your own compass. Not a rigid plan, but a sense of what matters to you. Maybe it's integrity, doing what you say, even when no one's watching. Maybe it's courage, facing the hard truths about yourself, like the ways you've let fear or pride steer you. Maybe it's connection, building bonds with men who challenge you to be better, not just louder. Whatever it is, you define it, you refine it, you live by it. History shows us men who did this. Think of Socrates, who chose death over betraying his principles. He didn't follow Athens' laws or its mob. He followed his own reasoning, even when it cost him everything. Or consider Frederick Douglass, who taught himself to read, to think, to fight for his freedom. He didn't wait for permission. He ruled himself, and in doing so, changed the world. These men weren't gods. They were flawed, like you, like me. But they chose their own paths, and that made all the difference. Society will push back. It always does. When you stop following, you become a threat, not because you're loud, but because you're free. People will call you selfish, stubborn, lost. They'll try to pull you back into the fold. But you don't owe them your soul. You owe yourself the chance to live a life that's yours. And the beauty is, when you rule yourself, you inspire others. You become the man others look to, not to follow, but to learn from. You show them what's possible. Pause. Who in your life would be shaken if you started living on your own terms? Why does that scare you? Or does it excite you? The stakes are high. If you keep following others, you risk becoming a shadow of who you could be. You'll wake up one day, staring at a life that feels like a borrowed suit, tight in all the wrong places. But if you choose to rule yourself, you claim something rare, a life that's yours, through and through. It won't be perfect. You'll stumble, doubt, fail, but every scar will be yours, earned on your terms, and that's worth everything. You're still at that crossroads, aren't you? The voices are still there, urging you to follow, to conform, to play it safe. But you don't have to listen. You can choose to stand still, to listen to the voice inside, the one that's been waiting for you to hear it. You can choose to take one step, then another, on a path that's yours alone. It's not about being fearless. It's about being free. Free to fail, to grow, to become the man you were meant to be, not the one the world expects. So, what's it going to be? Will you keep chasing mirages, or will you dig deep and find your own water? The desert's vast, but you're not lost. You've got everything you need to navigate it. Your mind, your heart, your will. Rule yourself, and the world will never own you. Start now. Take one choice, one truth, one step. It's yours to take, and when you do, you'll feel it. The weight lifting, the air clearing, the man you are rising to meet the man you'll become.